You're building Kerplunk.
Yes, I am.
I see.
Yes.
Hello.
Welcome everybody.
Yeah.
To the Kerplunk special.
Yeah.
We're just gonna talk for as long as it takes me to do this, and then it's over.
Well, we've only got like 6 or 7 sticks left, and then a couple marbles, and that's gonna sound awful.
I'm just kidding.
On the mics.
So, this is going to be a Patreon exclusive D&D one-shot pre-show. I am stepping back into the DM chair for the first time in years.
Yeah.
And I'm going to run a one-shot tomorrow, our time. So, as requested, I believe New Boy was one of the suggesters of doing something along the lines of like prepping and how do you choose what you're going to do and build stuff for the session. And we thought this would be a good opportunity to try that. Plus, we're recording this one shot tomorrow, which by this point you've already seen. And so you can kind of see this video on what I was planning, how I thought things would go, and how things are actually going to turn out, which I think will be kind of interesting.
Yep, and I'm here for mechanical support on the D&D side.
Yes.
Even though I think this guy's got it, but it wouldn't be much of a breakdown if you didn't have somebody to riff off with.
That's true.
If you were just talking at a camera, that was a close one. That one almost didn't work.
Yeah.
So should we run them through what they've already seen and what we're about to do tomorrow?
Yep. So you might be wondering why I'm painstakingly inserting sticks into this tower.
By the time they've seen this.
Oh, yeah, you already know. You're right. Just kidding.
We should still break it down for them because it's a pre-show, post-show.
So I was talking about doing stuff with wanting to do like a jailbreak scenario and wanting to have a stealth element where if like rolls were missed or ideas were far-fetched and could work but were costly, to have some sort of system that would let them know how they're doing stealth-wise, and but to keep the pressure on them so that if a decision is given like, hey, yeah, you can do this at this cost, it's a lot more of a like, ooh, I don't know if we can do that. So Drew told me about Dread, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
So
there's a very interesting system out there. For anybody that hasn't heard of Dread and you want a more interesting way to freak out your players, imagine a tabletop RPG akin to Dungeons & Dragons or Pathfinder, etc. But instead of dice, you play with Jenga. And if you're doing something that is exceptionally difficult and or dangerous, you pull X amount of Jenga blocks. And if you're the one that knocks it over, your character is killed or maimed, or depending on what the theme of the game is. Usually it's like your teens in an 80s horror movie, and there's like a murderer after you, and they catch you if you knock the Jenga block down. But that was that's Dread.
I liked that idea a lot, but I wanted it to be more team-based in that like you win or lose together kind of thing, so that decisions might not be as selfish, or they might be, depending on your goals. But I liked this more because as a person who has hand tremors, I hate Jenga.
Yeah.
Because it's impossible to...
It can't be won.
Like, I'm at a physical deficit.
Yeah. It's a dexterity game. We're both awful at them.
Yeah.
Because we're just sitting here like this, and everyone's like, are you nervous? We're like, no, I'm alive.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
So, yeah, it's Hereditary or Handshake.
They do.
So,
It's rough.
I didn't want a game where you could be at a... I personally would be at a disadvantage.
Where if you were playing, you've already lost.
So we were brainstorming some, and we came up with Kerplunk.
The worst game from 2001.
Probably older than that.
Probably.
I think it says on the thing it's from like the 70s or 60s or something.
You know what? I would believe that.
But yeah, this is cool because even if you like kind of lose, right? Like in Jenga, if it falls, right?
Yeah.
But in this, if you pull one stick, you might only get like a marble.
Yeah.
And one of the things we're going to talk about right now that you guys already know is like what is a good cutoff for how many marbles until it's over.
Yeah.
So in my mind, it's less of like, oh, hey, the marbles have fallen out, so you're dead. And it's more of the marbles have fallen out and the alarm system has activated, and then now you're under time pressure to escape, or you're back where you started.
Yeah.
And you failed. So
Big sad.
Drew and I had Drew come over and we played a couple rounds of Kerplunk.
We did. It was a time.
And
It's difficult.
I'll be curious how it pans out tomorrow, but on average, it was about 13 sticks before marbles would start to fall.
It was I think across 5 games, it was between 12 and 15 sticks.
Yeah.
Anything above 15 is usually catastrophic failure.
Yeah, you're any stick and you're done.
Yeah,
the whole
because
thing's
the
done.
slightest movement, unless you're like really cheating and trying to move a marble with a stick, you get a complete failure of the system.
And then the other thing we were toying with were like rewards, like if you could put a stick back in or put a marble back in.
Yeah.
Sticks are impossible to re-add once there's marbles in.
Yeah,
and if you put a marble back in,
adding a marble is
it's
catastrophic
worse.
failure to the system.
It's awful.
Because it forces every marble down all at once,
Yeah.
and they will find their way around the sticks.
It was a punishment more than anything.
Yeah, so I think the only way to reward that would be to like not count X amount of marbles the next time a marble falls.
Yeah.
That's about as close as you could get.
And also,
in that.
this might be this particular Kerplunk game that we have, but it is so like stuck on the bottom that like spinning it is not a thing.
It really can't spin. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer because you're supposed to spin it to whoever's turn it is. So it would be like, okay, player 2.
And
you screwed up
with how balanced stuff gets towards the end, you're like, there's no way you.
Yeah, if you had to
knock
spin it,
over.
you would be dead just from having
Yeah.
to spin it.
So that's kind of the gimmick we're gonna run with. There's 3 players tomorrow. The only one that's playing that has played D&D before is Troy.
Yeah.
And
He's coming back.
even he's only played like less than 5 times.
He's because he played through Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But I
That's true.
didn't
That's
hold
true.
him to the rules.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that get very concerned at how powerful Refusul is, and it's because I just didn't tell him what he couldn't do. And I never really told him no, especially when he was like, okay, so a shadow is being cast from the dragon. We can all agree on this. We see this. The light is casting
That
a
was so
shadow.
funny.
There's a shadow here. I teleport into the shadow.
That was so good.
So that was great. He's a very creative player, but
Yeah.
all of that to say, he's the only player that you've seen before.
Yes. The other 2, their names are Garrig and Robbie.
Yeah.
I have no idea how it's gonna go with them.
Oh man. You got blank slates, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw out some very loose descriptors, and because I can only guess, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Garrick's very laid back. He's enjoys like the fun of it.
Yeah.
So I'm giving him the role of the Smeargle for that reason, because Smeargle's pretty open-ended. Drew and I talked a little bit before where like, oh, hey, he can sketch stuff with his tail and he can have it, but it doesn't function. So the example I keep using is like he could draw a refrigerator and it looks like a refrigerator, but it does not refrigerate
He
your
could
food.
make, the example from the sessions is like he can make bolt cutters because that is a mechanical device that would function, but it doesn't, like painting a refrigerator doesn't give it power, it doesn't keep food cool, it would make a storage container.
Yeah.
So he can do that level of like conjuration.
So I
basically.
think that's a good
It's a good toolkit for somebody like that.
Yeah, it's a good toe dip, and I think he'll have some neat ideas to do with it.
Yeah.
That are, when you're a new player I think he'll be one of those new players where he's like, well, can I do this? And keep trying to push that line without jumping over it.
Yeah.
Where like if I were to give this to Jordan, he would immediately try to find the furthest thing out there that he can do. Where
Yeah.
Garrick is going to be like, can I do like a little bit further? You're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Can I go a little bit further?
Exactly.
And I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's the beauty of completely green players, is they will keep you on your toes more than even the most experienced players. Unless they play like I do, where I'm just really annoying. I'm the rogue that's like, hey, I have a mirror on the end of a stick, and I'm going to look around the corner. And like, oh, I bring a bag of flour so I can test for air currents under doors. And the DMs are always like, now I have to think about that. And I'm like, yes, you do. But new players are very creative because they haven't been told no a bunch, and they haven't ever tried and failed on these things. So they're always just, they're so quick to be like, oh, okay, well, what if we painted like a rope and like a pulley system to lift this super heavy gate? And I'd be like, dang, that's really creative.
But the fun part with this is I can play this in a way where I never have to say no to him. I can just say like, sure, but that'll take 6 sticks or something insane.
You can make a crazy gamble, and early on he might be like, yeah, cool, 6, no problem. Easy peasy. And then like the 7th one, and then suddenly the marbles start moving. And you're like, I don't ever want to touch this thing again.
So I think that's where this could be fun, because I never have to say no. I can just make it a price that they don't want to say yes to.
And instead of saying like, you can certainly try, you just be like, yeah, it's going to cost you some sticks. It's a good bargaining chip as a DM.
So I think it'll be a good way to introduce the other two to it, because they can try to problem solve without being like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, I feel like Troy, Papa, Father, Dad, however you want to refer to him. We will call him those things. You can call him Troy is fine. He's very pragmatic. So I'm very curious how all of the situations that you bring up, when he's going to be like, no, you're annoying and you're causing sticks. I lock you back up. You get back in there.
So
Robbie's a full wild card. I have no idea.
Yeah, Robbie's no idea. Robbie is someone who, and
no idea.
We might, Drew, myself, and Robbie may start a podcast in the future.
It might happen.
And if you enjoy a good story, I highly recommend you listen to it, because the things that that
boy has said.
We have all known each other because he's our cousin.
Yeah.
And we've known each other for as long as we've all been alive. And we have like 10 stories for every year of life, and they're all about Robbie.
They're all so good.
And they're all about Robbie. But anyway, beyond that, I don't know. Like he could blow me away tomorrow and just be like totally into it. I do have a character in mind for him already that I think he'll do well with. So we'll go over those real quick. So
you want to talk about it for a second?
Yes. Gary's going to be the Smeargle. We've already discussed that.
For anybody that missed it in the sessions, the Smeargle's name is Jailbreak.
Yes.
And he hangs out with Hawthorne. We are doing that exact Smeargle.
Yes.
That Jailbreak, we are just...
Yeah. And I'm thinking this is one of his first missions.
Sure.
Like in early days.
Yeah.
Troy really wants to play Amenadiel, who was his Cubone partner from Ragnarok. So I think we're going to go that route, and I'm going to give him the egg mission.
Okay.
So you guys already know. I keep trying to like skirt around spoilers, but I forget you've already seen it.
Yeah.
So
you can't, like, for us it's spoilers because it's the future.
Yeah.
But for you guys, you've already seen it.
Yeah.
This is a pre-post show.
So I originally came to Drew with like, hey, I did this one shot forever ago as detectives, and it kind of roped out to being Nubster's origin for the Tots. And I kind of want to do that again for Monty, because we've never gone into that in our game, and my character doesn't care and will never care, and it's not going to be like, well, I wonder who his parents really were because I didn't get a pigeon. He doesn't care. So I never intend to explore that in character. So it'd be kind of neat to do as like a one shot like this, so that we can explore it without like having to bring it in the game. Because as a player, I would like to know. It'd be cool. Yeah. So I kind of wrote a story for that, but again, it'll never come up, I don't think, in the main game.
For anybody out there that's like, that seems like ghost writing to do that, I'm like, dude, You already write your character backstories. If you want to run a one-shot of your character's backstory, what better way to like really explore that avenue too?
Yeah,
I think it's great.
You guys have
It's
already seen
phenomenal.
it, so it's not like there's a secret hidden cache of stuff I'm gonna find in game that'll like setting stuff up to like alter it.
Yeah,
in
so
any
that's
way.
also for anybody wondering like, oh, how come Drew's not gonna be a player? For that exact reason. Because this is Joel's brainchild. I want him to do it. I don't want him in the moment to even feel, I know you wouldn't. We've talked about it enough. But I don't want you to feel like in the middle of making a cutthroat decision to like even think to be like, oh, is this okay to do? Like, I just want you to roll with it. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
I
So
don't want to bog you down with that.
as you've already seen, I'm going to give everyone a mission.
Yeah.
Garrick's is the easiest because his is just going to be, hey, you're here to free people.
Yeah.
Free as many as you can while still being able to get them all off the boat. Because in theory, you could literally free everyone, but then what?
How are you going to get him out of there?
Yeah, you can't, like, you got to...
It's impossible.
You got to
It's too many
get
people.
as many as you can without getting caught.
Yeah.
So that next time, it's not any harder.
Yeah.
So that's his goal, is to kind of, like, free as many as you can, not too many.
Yeah.
And then Troy's goal, a.k.a. Amenadiel, is going to be to take that egg.
Yeah. I'll be curious if he pulled it off.
Yes. So...
Heist of the century.
And if he doesn't, that's Monty in the egg, was what my original thought was. So if nothing comes of that, then whatever.
Then, then we had a fun one shot, and we'll see how it went.
That was the intention. I feel like Troy will go for it.
He has
though.
such a good poker face that they'll never know.
Yeah.
They'll be like, hey, I feel like I just need to go over here real quick.
Yeah. So
Is there a shadow?
So-
that's my prediction.
in
Is
the
there a shadow?
beginning, I plan to have it where it's just Garrick. He's going to be playing by himself shortly. He's going to be getting on the boat. The other two, we'll get to Robbie in a minute, are going to be on the boat, and he's going to team up with them to get other Pokemon. So I'm thinking right now that, because I'm having to pivot a bit, because I had another Pokemon in mind, which I'll say in a second when we get to Robbie. I don't think Amenadiel would be a prisoner on this boat, because I don't think...
Only if it was like a long con.
Yeah.
He would have gotten himself picked up to then do this mission.
Playing off of what we know about Refusul and his...
I mean, you could, though.
What?
You could play it. You could lean on that angle.
Well,
where he got himself arrested or like picked up.
I'm going to have him be the double agent.
Oh.
So he is playing the long con, where he's on the boat acting as a prison guard and waiting for this moment, because this is in the timeline where Monty comes from.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, I need to get this Smeargle this egg.
Yeah.
So I've been working on the boat because I don't want to be a prisoner. That sucks. So I'm going to be a prison guard while I wait for this to happen.
I love it.
So
no, he'll do great at that.
We're going to stage it so that they're confused, where it seems like he's also breaking out, and they'll be like, oh, hey, you can help us. But in reality, he's a prison guard. So the thing I'm going to have for him in secret, and I'll be curious how he handles this, is, hey, if something happens, alarms are going off, whatever, you can slip back into your prison guard role, give somebody up, and be like, oh yeah, no, I caught this breakout guy, and not get locked up. So you have to give somebody up and lose the trust of the people you're with in exchange for not getting locked up. But depending on how he plays it, you'll see he might not even have to do it.
Dude, prediction, you guys are gonna get caught. He's gonna immediately throw Robbie in. I got him.
So I'm not opposed to letting him do any of the random ones either.
Yeah.
Because it'll make those two go, what? Why? How come you got to do that? And that'll be an interesting.
It'd be great if they then try.
Yeah.
Oh, I got him, and then they both get.
Yeah. So I'm okay with that because I want to see how it goes.
That'd be interesting.
I'm putting a secret limit on it that I'm not going to tell him, where you can do it twice, because they're like, oh, good job, guy. And
you did it once.
Yeah,
but...
the second one, they're like, oh, he's really efficient. Like, he's really... And then the third one, you're like, something's up. Because we keep finding... Like, it's being... Like,
you're Harry Potter. Why are you always involved? Why is it always you three?
Oh, I'm thinking The Departed, where he's at the scene when they call the cops and like, how'd you already get here kind of deal? Because he was the rat.
Yeah.
So that's the third strike. He's going to get caught, but I'm not going to tell him that. So we'll see what comes of that. And then they might have to do some fighting or give up some other people they've freed to get off with who they have. So I'll be excited to see that. Now, originally, I was going to have Robbie be a Meowth. And the plot that I wrote is that he's just a Meowth, and he has a trick coin. It's not Wimpimble, but he's got a trick coin. Very familiar. He's locked up because his sister's locked up, and he was trying to free her and also got caught. So his sister is Wimpimble's mom. So he wants to get them out because she will eventually have Wimpimble if they get out. But the thing, his like secret mission is you're here for your sister. You don't care about anyone else. So when they're like, this is a good amount of prisoners, we can leave now. He's going to be the one that's like, no, one more. Because he wants to find her.
Yeah, just one more.
Yeah, one more. Just one more. Like, and he keeps pushing it.
You're going to play into that, like, loot box gamble, too.
Yeah. One more.
That's so good. Oh, my God. He wants to collect all of them. He's going to get everyone out and get just her and then trigger the alarm.
So, here's my first question for you.
Yeah.
Because I have a spin wheel of like 30 Pokemon and 30 adjectives.
Yeah.
Now, in theory, they could land on that one first and he's done, which I'm not a huge fan of. Or they could never land on it, and that also sucks. So it's like, do I leave it up to that random chance, or do I pick a number that's like 8? And on the 8th one, let
me give you a secret tool that you can use for later. Okay. And we'll see if you even have to. Okay. There's an old-timey trick. I haven't done it in a long time. Doesn't happen in the TOTS game. But there's because you'll get accused of railroading. Mm-hmm. But for a situation like this in a one-shot, you need things to keep moving.
Yes.
So it's sort of a false dilemma. Oh, do you go left or do you go right? Mm-hmm. And you don't tell them what's on either end.
Yeah.
But you've only prepared
one thing.
Yeah. Oh, which way do you go? And then that builds the world for you. So what I would do is, obviously it sucks if in the first 4 it's there.
Yeah.
So if you roll it in the first 4, just delay it. And what you do, there's a little DM trick that I don't necessarily like for campaigns, but I love it for one-shots, where if you're doing like a combat, you don't really track the HP of the thing that they're fighting.
Yeah.
It's over when a fight stops being fun.
Yeah.
So what you do is when things are getting tight and they go, okay, just like one more.
Yeah.
Then when you know, like, okay, if they have to pull another stick, like marbles are going to start falling.
Yeah.
You can try to time it so that like 1, maybe 2 more after that one. Mm-hmm. That way you keep Robbie invested because he's like, okay, I just need to find her. I just got to find her. Just got to find one more, and just kind of dangle it. No sticks, only carrots.
Well, sticks.
Well, pull sticks. Eat a carrot. You get both sticks and carrots.
Yeah.
So you just kind of, if it rolls early, then you kind of fix it. And if it hasn't rolled and things are getting a little dire, then maybe just throw them a bone and be like, oh, she sees you.
Okay.
You could do something like that.
So I guess on a counterpoint, I was considering showing them the wheels, so I shouldn't.
That's because it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
There's a reason that DMs roll behind a screen. It's not necessarily to lie and change their numbers.
Yeah.
It's more to formulate how you're going to describe something.
Yeah.
So if they can see it up there, it's going to feel a little more like a whose line is it anyway prompt.
Gotcha.
They'll be like, it's a misguided Krogunk. Yeah. And they'll be like, a what?
Yeah.
But you're dealing with 3 people that don't really know Pokemon.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really help them to know what's being shown. But it might make it a little more exciting if he can see
where it
on
is
the wheel, like, come on.
Because I have it set up so that...
Because it removes them, right?
Yep.
After you
so
roll.
the little pie slice will get a little bit bigger every time.
Okay. You know what? In that case, then I wouldn't manipulate it at all. I'd be like, yeah, it's a gamble. Good luck.
Yeah.
Because it would kind of suck.
Yeah.
If you're like a seasoned player.
Yeah.
and you're like, I've got to risk 30 times.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
But if it's your first game and you're like, no, we got this.
1 in 5? That's fine.
We got this. Okay. What are my chances? I got a 5% chance of immediate death. Okay. Yeah, sure. I got a 10% chance of $1 million. 5% chance to die immediately. Okay.
Okay.
Roll the dice.
I'll be curious.
Yeah, if they can see it and he's like, and then he can be hyped for it, that'll
or if
keep
it's
it
like
fun.
really, really close, or it's like God.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So, yeah, to that point, I made a bunch of Pokemon and random adjectives, which you guys have seen, with the intention of, like, I kind of wanted to not know either, so that, like, it can pick for me, and it's going to affect the modifier for stealth. So when you free something out of a cage, they're immediately like, oh my God, get me out of here. Yeah. And they might just blast through and try to run for the door. And their stealth check's way lower. Or they might be like, oh, we're getting out of here. And like just join you and seamlessly do it. So there's a lot of Pokemon, and depending on like their size and stereotypical demeanor, they might be like a Scrafty has a positive modifier. Yeah. So if you roll a 10 or better, you're good. But if you're a Scrafty and it's +3, then you only need a 13. And his adjective might be sneaky, which is another +3. And so you only need, that'd be the opposite. So a 4 to 20. So they're pretty much gonna do it. But there's opposite ones, like Tyrantrum's a -5. And so you better hope you get a good adjective with him.
You found Cantankerous Tim.
Yeah. And there's also, I put just my favorite one, adjective is just awful. It's a -5.
You are awful.
So in theory, you could get an awful Tyrantrum and you need to crit for it to stay stealthy. Like there's no way around it. Because it's an awful Tyrantrum.
Exactly.
It's so
no, that's a good way to look at modifiers too, because that keeps it really easy when you're running, especially for new players.
Yeah.
If you can tell them what they have to beat.
Yep.
On there. If you're like, okay, what's your adjective? And you're like, oh, awful. And be like, okay. So instead of a 10, you have to roll higher than a 15.
Yep.
So that's a good way to keep it easy for them too.
And so things will kind of balance. I did things like, I think a Chinchou's on there, but because it lights up, it's less stealthy. Because you're like, can you turn your lights off?
No. No, I can't.
But
they're part of me.
What I really wanted to do, and I don't know how I'll pivot it, so we'll talk about it, and we might change Robbie's character right now.
Oh. No more cat.
Originally for Troy, he was going to be a Turtonator. And
oh wow!
So he was gonna still be the double agent, but he was gonna be a Turtonator, and all three of them have a means to open a cage. Smeargle can do like bolt cutters or whatever the heck he wants to with his tail.
You just paint a key.
Yeah. The Meowth has like thieves' tools, like uber stealthy, like this is gonna click with no noise.
Yeah.
And intentionally gonna give him a limit on those of 3. To see if Garrig and them can think of the idea to draw more, which I will allow. Yeah. But I want them to come up with that and like feel good about it.
No, that's good. That's because that'll get the gears turning. And they'll be like,
yeah, you can draw more.
Yeah.
But Turtonator is like, if you fail and the lock breaks, he can just blow it up, but it's 3 sticks. So it'd be a 1-stick, 2-stick, 3-stick team.
Yeah.
And so you might try to do this with 1 stick and fail, and now it's closed forever unless Turtonator blows it up. Yeah. So you might be like, Meowth's in there, and you'd be like, no, it's not risk trying to blow it up.
Blow the lock.
Yeah, we gotta blow it. We gotta blow it up. So that was my original plan.
Yeah.
But
no, that's a good plan.
Troy really wants to be a Menadeel, and I want him to enjoy this as much as possible, so I'm okay with doing that.
You know what you do? Just have his bone club be just a crowbar.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Ping! Yeah. It just makes a loud sound, but it'll break the lock.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good.
Okay. Because I like the idea of that.
The Turtonator is awesome.
It's I like the idea of having them each have a tier of like, hey, Smeargle can do this easy. It's gonna cost 2 sticks, but there's no roll. It's a 2-stick. 1 stick's a little bit of a gamble, but if you succeed, you don't even have to roll. It's just you're done, you're good.
Yeah.
But if you mess up, you can't get in unless Big Boy gets you out.
Yeah. No, I love that dynamic because there's no reason to just blow your cover.
Yeah.
Unless somebody's like, no, you gotta.
Yep.
Do it.
Yeah.
Because then he could be like, do it or I sound the alarm.
Yeah.
Like, none of us leave.
But I
if you don't
also
do
like
this.
that because they'll know. I kind of want if he tries before they do anything, they're not going to know what's in the cage, but he can peek and like try to do his thing and find out. At which point I can reveal it.
Yeah.
So then,
that might be good because then if you roll it,
yeah,
and then you can show it to him.
Okay. So
if you don't want them to know, because if they see that it's an awful Tyrantrum and they're like, we've seen an awful thing before.
Yeah.
We can't get a T-Rex out.
Yeah,
There's no way.
So Garrick can do it for 2 sticks, and they don't know what it is. It's a random gamble. They're going to come out and make a roll for stealth. That's it.
Yeah.
He can do a thing for 1 stick, see what it is, and then if it breaks, they can decide to do it or not.
Yeah.
At which point you might see on the modifier, hey, this thing's got like a +6. Even if we have to take 3 sticks, they're going to make it.
Yeah.
And we're going to be fine. Like, they're going to roll well. This is another check on the list of like someone we got out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking from that point. Right now I'm thinking anything above 5 marbles is like they're gonna start deploying people. Like the guards are gonna start getting their riot vests on.
Yeah.
At which point I'm gonna put a timer on.
Yeah.
This is how much time you have to open extra cages.
Yeah.
They're still going to pull sticks during that time.
But you got that time go, so you don't have time to go.
Yep.
Which one of these sticks isn't going to cause a Kerplunk?
10 sticks, lockdown, and or 10 marbles, excuse me.
Because I think there's like 20 marbles, 30
we
marbles.
Can count them.
Yeah, there's not that many.
So 10 marbles fall, and it's over. You have to brute force your way out. I guarantee you a lot of them are not going to make it.
Yeah.
It might only be Smeargle or like just Robbie in the end, and that's it. If they push it that far, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. If Troy can get the egg and they stay below 5 marbles and they like get what they need and they get out stealth mission, everything's peachy.
Yeah.
They can go back, they can regroup. I'll have Amenadiel do the egg with how I imagine it would end, which will just be him giving it to like a Pidgeotto and being like, hey, this belongs at your roost. And they'll be like, oh, okay. And just deliver it.
Like, oh, that's so weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's it. And we'll close it out. If he gets the egg and they get 5 marbles, they're going to have to fight the Haunch Crow.
Yeah.
It's going to chase them on their boat all the way to land. And the people on the boat would be like, no, come back here. Like, you need it. But it's like, no, that's my egg, bro. I'm fighting this to the death.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to duke it out. However, what I'm thinking right now is they get to land. Whoever they saved is just like, oh my God, I've made it. And they're going to run for safety. They don't care. The 3 of them will probably have to fight for it. And they'll have to duke it out. In a situation where one of them gets locked up and they don't make it out and there's only 2 of them, I'll say like, hey, off this list, who do you want to play as?
Yeah,
and you can join the fight.
Yeah.
Now you might want that awful Tyrantrum. And
then you're like, oh, it was all worth it.
Yeah, yep.
A T-Rex swimming to shore.
Yeah.
It was so worth it.
Yeah.
Because now it's just going to rock slide and murk this Haunch Crow.
But yeah, I have a super mini early fight if stealth goes wrong, and then that at the end. But other than that, I don't have any combat intended.
Honestly, it seems like the intention is like, if combat is starting, you've made mistakes.
You've gone wrong.
Yeah. Which is good because combat is very complex for new players.
I have like a starting room where Garrig can free Robbie.
Yeah.
So that's how it's going to start. And there'll be like, imagine just your stereotypical Sly Cooper room where he's like the only one in there in a cage. There's like 1 guard asleep and like buttons and key cards. And I'll let him have his playground and try to see what he wants to do with it.
Yeah.
And if it turns into a little scuffle, it's lessons learned for the room.
My prediction, because it's Garrig, is he'll paint like duct tape and like just try to duct tape the guard to the chair.
Yeah.
And then like tape over the mouth and then take all the key cards and hit every button.
And
That's
then,
my guess. Could be wrong.
Yeah. And then he can free Robbie out, and then when they leave, they'll run into Troy.
Yeah.
Who's going to have to play it off.
I mean, it would be kind of funny if he was just like sneaking through a window.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, you guys are trying to leave too? It's like,
What?
yeah? What are you doing out there? But no, that'd be interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
It's good.
So I want to do one quick round of this.
Okay.
Just to see if it holds up to averages.
All right.
And then we'll...
You ready for some rollies, Kerplunk?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to use Tia's dice.
I'm going to use the Milo one.
Okay. Here we go.
This is how we played
Yeah,
it to
we
test it.
played rollies, and then whoever rolls lower has to pull a stick.
Yep.
18.
14.
Get wrecked. All right.
4.
7. He's just that good.
1. I got to
18.
take 2. That was our rule.
Yep. On a natural 1, you take 2.
So that's 4 sticks. 14.
13.
I got all the early ones. That's fine.
We've
There's
got
some
our first shift in the tower.
10.
13. I don't know if they can see the Kerplunk. This
Yeah, I
might
don't
be
think
like
so
the
either.
least engaging
Yeah.
thing we've ever done.
ASMR.
Yeah.
8.
5.
Ooh. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sticks.
Okay.
That's a 4.
14. Let's go.
11.
12.
God. Take that one. 4.
3.
Ooh. I also think I'm gonna have them do a round beforehand, so they can have an idea of
Okay.
it. Just
Get a
purely
feel
in
for
the
where to
beginning.
pull
Yeah,
and-
no context. We're just gonna play Kerplunk right now.
Natural 1. All right. We're pulling these two at the same time.
Just because I don't want them to have to.
Oh, man. I realized I've only pulled yellow sticks. I don't know. There was not a rule for that or anything. I just decided to do that.
But
4.
6. I can't
Balls.
decide if. Uh-oh. So that's 1, 2, 3,
All right.
4, 5, 6, 7. How many do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's 13.
What'd I tell you? So 13, the first marble has fallen.
Yeah. 3.
10. But the one rule I think we are definitely set in stone.
4.
Natural
Ooh.
1. The one rule we're set in stone on is if you touch a stick,
You have
you
to
have
take
to
it.
pull it.
Yeah.
1. That one's dangerous. That one is dangerous. You know it's not? This one. I got a good feeling about this one. It moved 5 marbles. You'll never believe me, but it did.
At 3,
4.
regardless of their stealth, they're going to get checked on. And that's a point at which
That was
Troy can play
tense.
his...
He can play his trump card and be
Yes.
like, hey, why are you pulling? I beat you. Or you beat me and we haven't rolled yet. You just pulling for fun?
On accident.
All right.
11.
11. All right.
17.
19.
Well, that I pulled
Okay,
it.
you pulled it and you got a marble.
7.
19 again. Tia's die is rolling like crazy, man.
14.
14.
Wow. 9.
16. This die is awesome. Tia, I would like to buy this die from you. 20.
Oof.
Let's go.
I got pulled 2.
Yep.
So now the fun thing with Kerplunk, right, is that there's a bunch down here that there aren't any marbles on. But the more of those, yeah, okay, you can't see. So there's a lot of sticks at the top.
I got an idea.
'Kay.
Now that we're at a dangerous point. Okay.
There's a lot of sticks at the top, right?
Okay. This will be
and
weird, but it'll
a
work.
medium amount in the middle. I can pull this out, nothing's sitting on it. Easy. And they can keep doing that, but then it makes every stick up here an absolute danger. So you can
Yeah.
try to pull some and let them settle in here and then really have a pull on what your actual safe ones are.
Yeah.
Or you can try to pull these at the bottom,
All right. 12.
but then literally all of these are critical.
All right, here he goes.
So I'm going to pull one from up here. That's 1, 2,
Oh, that
3,
is-
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm one stick away from lockdown.
That's what we call in the business a catastrophic Failure.
Now, the timer will have started in the game, right?
Yeah.
They're one marble away from lockdown, so it's really, really awful. Let's just say Robbie wants to keep going, and they're like, you're crazy. This is where Robbie could, in theory, we'll see how attuned he is to Kerplunk, could say like, no,
I
look,
see a stick.
I see 3 sticks that aren't touching anything.
This green one right here
Is not
perfectly safe.
No, it's not. There's one on this side. It would
Oh,
fall.
you can't see it over here though.
But like this one right here, I think, or is there one right there?
No. There's one right there.
I
Oh,
clicked it.
just from touching the table, 4 more fell. Oh no.
But that's what I mean. Like he can look at that and say like, oh, we've got at least 4 sticks worth that we can do.
And the best will be
without
when he
pulling
goes,
a marble.
guys, we have at least 4, and then all the rest of the marbles fall. This is just.
So, yeah, that is that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking it'll
Let's get
be
this back on you.
Cool. It
says home movie energy. It's completely unhinged.
So we'll see how it goes as adding Kerplunk to the game.
This would have been my next one. Look at that.
Beautiful.
I'm just that good.
Yeah, see? There's some safe ones in there.
This is the one. Oh, yeah,
That
see?
was
That's the one that I go, oh, this is totally safe.
Yep.
Every other marble. Uh-oh.
That's the last marble. You're out. This one's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
That's Kerplunk.
I'm curious to see how 2 completely new D&D players handle it.
Yeah. I think it's good because it's not such a focus on rules.
Yeah.
It's very easy to understand. Okay, I want to try this thing. All right, I need the die to say this number, or you're gonna pull this number of sticks.
Yeah, and it's very, very light character work too.
Yeah. Very easy.
And I think Troy's the only one I want being the double agent because the 2 of them are so new that, like,
That'd be so much extra pressure.
well, more so like if you were to tell them and be like, hey, I'm a bad guy, but I want to leave, they would be too new and they'd be like, okay. And they wouldn't want to be like, no, you can't. So
yeah.
where Troy will enjoy that role and want to keep it secret. So I think
They might just be like, hey, I've been told this
Yeah.
secret of mine,
Yeah.
and I would like to win the game. So if you wouldn't mind taking me with you on your journey of self-discovery. Yeah, no, I think I'll be very curious to see and hear how they handle everything you throw at them. Because I think the Kerplunk element is going to just add a whole new level.
Yeah.
And can you imagine if I did this to the tots out of nowhere? All right, guys, you want to play today? Roll 2d6, and they roll it, and I whip out a freaking like Monopoly.
You land
pull a chance card. What? That'd be wild. Like, no, I think this is great.
Now, here is where we can have
stickies back in. You good? You're about 40 minutes in.
Wow, okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
All
right, I've put all my sticks back in.
Here's where we can have a little bit of fun with some minor predictions.
Yeah.
On between the 3 of them, will any, none, or all of them be successful in what they're trying to accomplish?
Well, Garrig's is hard to quantify.
Yes.
Get as many as you can.
To me, Smeargle's win condition, if you want to call it that,
is get out.
Is not getting anyone recaptured. So anyone he lets out of a jail cell also makes it out.
Yeah.
To be able to strategize in that sense so that in future jailbreaks, he can be like, okay, this is kind of how I go about it, and this is my limit.
This worked, this didn't. We come in, we grab 7, we go.
Yep. And kind of go that sense.
Yeah.
Robbie's is the hardest to predict because it's going to kind of rely on luck.
Yeah.
But I imagine he'll. I hope he's not too nervous and he pushes it, because I could see him being like, where they're like, okay, we need to go, and
he just goes, okay.
Yeah, like, all right, I guess, and
he'll be like, dang, all right,
yeah,
we gotta go.
So I don't know how he's gonna play that out.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm gonna word it on his thing that it's like, you're not leaving unless they're there.
Yeah.
Like, you would rather stay locked up.
It would be a very interesting dynamic, too, if he took that and everyone's like, we're going to go. And then he just, like, went and sealed himself in a cage.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
that
like,
would
I'm
be
going to
weird.
keep trying.
Yeah. Like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
That would be wacky.
I think that Troy will succeed. I think
he
he'll
will,
get the egg.
through sheer force of will alone,
Yeah.
he will deny fate, die rolls, and sticks and still accomplish the goal. You'll be like, the timer has started, and he will be like, I immediately run for the nest.
Yeah.
What? Is there a shadow there? I am in the nest. I replace the egg with a Fabergé egg that I had made.
As a background element, if I had another player, I can't get it through.
It's so hard to set back up.
Yeah.
It's the worst game.
If I had another player, I would have broken it out like I would have split up Troy's goals where he was still the undercover guy, or
Yeah.
like he's just like fed up with his job and wants to leave.
Yeah.
That's it. And then the other person would be a Pidgeotto, and their kind of intention was, hey, this Honchkrow took my egg. I'm not 100% sure if that's mine, but even if it's not, I'm taking theirs. So it's
Yeah.
like I'm either saving my egg or I'm getting revenge.
Yeah.
And then that's how that would play out. But I kind of like it the way he's wanting to be a Menadiel, because then it's kind of like this is
your purpose.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You have to make sure these events happen.
Yep.
Which is why I think he's the only one that could pull that off.
Yeah.
Because he's like, for anybody that doesn't know, he is both my accomplice and confidant when it comes to running the tots. Because I have to be able to talk about this with somebody. So he'll be so invested in making sure that the story can happen exactly as it did that I think he'll be like, I have to get that egg, no matter what.
But yeah, that's about it. We were gonna try to have Dean here to fill that spot, but
So
unfortunately
close.
he can't make it.
So close, but so far.
So we'll combine those two. But I am excited to
Oh, that
see
was
how it
clean.
goes. I am curious to see how this stuff kind of goes.
Yeah.
Because I think you know me in the sense that, like, I get all my random ideas and I'm like, would this work? And, like,
Yeah.
even in the last couple things I've run that nothing has aired, only the original one,
It's such a bummer. There's been so many cop sessions.
that it's never like a regular D&D for me. I always have to throw in some like wacky thing.
Oh yeah, no, it's always great.
And that's why I think I wouldn't be able to do like a full campaign, because I would want to do something weird like every session, and like you just run out of juice coming up with it.
Look at the Dots game, man.
Yeah.
It's an unending slew of increasingly bad times.
But more so
'Cause you
that
just
like
do.
Like I feel like people
But you
would
come up with fun mechanics. and
people
you're
would
like,
show up and there'd just be like coloring books, and they'd be like, "Why?"
all right, gang. This is what you're gonna do. You have to color within the lines.
Yeah.
Every time you color outside the lines, you're gonna make a stealth check. When your stealth checks are low, you have to continue coloring the book. But for every time you go outside the line, you need to roll a dexterity save. They'd be like, "What is this accomplishing?" Be like, "Oh, you're making biscuits."
I just like straight off like improv right now. If I did use coloring books, it'd be something like you have to color, and if you ever stop coloring, you roll at disadvantage. And
You have to color through the entire session.
yeah, and every like 20 minutes we're gonna check, and whoever's outside the lines more is dead. You're
That
done.
would actually be a great competitive smear
There we
goal,
go.
like art contest show.
Um,
That would be hilarious. But a lot of it's good because a lot of folks ask the questions in the lab videos and stuff of would we ever see other tots running games and stuff, and that I think is a great idea. So I'm trying to encourage this. But Joel came up with this on his own. I didn't even tell him like, yeah, you should run something. He's like, I have an idea. And I was
Yeah.
like, yes, perfect. So whether or not we'll see things beyond Jailbreak,
you never know.
I have
hard to
no
say.
idea. It's time is so fickle.
Here's what I can say about Jailbreak again, real quick, is that this is our third attempt to do it.
Yeah, And it's fallen through like day of every other time.
Yeah.
So there's no guarantee that we do this tomorrow.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things.
Because every time it doesn't happen, the players change and the plan changes,
Yeah.
and it gets a little more.
I think I've had this idea and it kind of planned out for like a month and a half now. And
Yeah.
it's like whenever we have a weekend off where we can't play regular game, like, oh, let's try to do it. And then it falls through. And then like, okay.
Yeah.
And
Because that's
then-
the hard part, too, is if everybody's available for TOTS, it's really hard to be like, oh, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
We're going to do this other thing instead.
Yeah.
We're just like, we got to wait for a weekend where nobody's available and then hope that everybody's available from completely separate groups.
Yep. So yeah, we'll see how
Yeah.
it goes. But that's why I'm saying like, who knows on future stuff, because
Yeah, it's so
this
up in
one
the
has
air.
been so sure to happen.
Yeah.
And it's been like a month and a half to get it going.
Exactly. And
So-
that's for that exact same reason. That's why like every time the TOTS hit gyms, it's completely up in the air when those happen. Like we'll just keep playing, and then there'll be weeks where people can't make it, and we're like, okay, we'll film your gym now. And then that's like contests, everything like that. Everything that's extra that takes an extra day out of somebody's week, we're like, okay, we'll film this eventually.
Yep.
But scheduling, as you guys know, is the bane of every D&D anything. So I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic that this will go well. I'm curious to see how Garrick plays. Because I feel like that group tomorrow being so fresh, so new, I feel like they will have either some great ideas, and then hopefully they won't have stage fright of just,
Yeah.
I roll.
But I think that's going to be,
Go.
and why I asked my dad to come last second is because...
He'll loosen up the vibe.
Yep.
He's very good at keeping a room relaxed and...
Yeah. He'll
and
come
not
into your
like-
house and keep you calm.
Yeah, if he sees that you're like doing this, he'll just be like, "Am I boring you?" And you're like, "Oh God, no." So it's good. I think it'll be exciting.
Okay. Well,
I can't wait to hear how successful or unsuccessful the jailbreak is. But you guys already know.
you do.
But we'll find out together, I guess.
So let us know your thoughts. Very curious on your thoughts on this. And having seen it, if you're like, oh, I wish you guys talked about this or
Yeah.
whatever. I'm going to say right now, anything I didn't talk about today is going to be improv. So
Yeah. And then you've run enough to know how much the stuff you're like, okay, I'm ready. We go right.
Yep.
Oh.
we actually don't go on the boat. I free the cat and we leave. And you're like, oh,
The cat is already out? Okay, we're leaving.
I've done my job.
Well,
But see, that's where I'm hoping he would be like, no, we can't leave yet. Like,
Yeah.
keep him
That'd be good.
on there. So yeah. Anyway, we'll stop rambling. Thanks for watching. Let us know your thoughts.
Thanks, gang. Thanks for watching us play Kerplunk. Listening to us play Kerplunk.
Yeah.
And then watching the end of the game.
Bye.
Enjoy!